All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the saga that is the Arizona Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray continues after removing any reference to the Cardinals from his Instagram account several weeks ago, along with making his frustrations public following the Cardinals' 34-11 loss in the wild card round to the Los Angeles Rams. Murray's agent now, Eric Burkhart, let it be known today that Murray sent a statement to the Cardinals brass that he wants to stay in Arizona, but he is also looking for a long term deal. Now, Murray is heading into his fourth NFL season, and his base salary this season will be $965,000, being that he is still on his rookie deal. Now, the Cardinals do have the ability to exercise their option for Murray in regards to 2023. So the ball is in their court regards to getting this deal done. But will or should the Cards commit to Murray long term? Now, Cardinals general manager Steve Keim is not a fan of negotiating publicly. So this right here definitely is a red flag for him. And even with that said, has Murray done enough to warrant a long-term deal from the Cardinals? He's 22, 23, and 1 as a starting quarterback in the NFL, to go along with 70 touchdown passes and 34 interceptions, while he's been sacked 106 times in 46 games. But the majority of those sacks, 48 of them, did come in his rookie season. Now, to Murray's credit, he has not played behind the best offensive lines since he has come to the NFL, but Arizona has given him plenty of talent at the skill positions, which includes DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, and AJ Green at wide receiver. But to me, it all boils down to the fact that Murray has not played well when the chips are pushed to the middle of the table. You go back to 2020, Arizona was 8-6 heading into their final two games of the regular season, only needing to win one contest in order to advance to the postseason, and they lost both games. Last season, the Cards came out like gangbusters. They started the year with a record of 7-0 before limping to an 11-6 finish and then failing to win the NFC West. And of course, part of that was DeAndre Hopkins was hurt, and then Murray was hurt for several games. But the thing is, Murray did not step up when his team needed him to in the postseason. Now, Murray's maturity, you're hearing stories about him not owning up to responsibility. We've seen that on display as well, following the playoff loss, and then also reports of him finger pointing. And that's not what you want to see from a quarterback, because your quarterback is supposed to be your leader. Your quarterback is supposed to take the bull by the horns. Your quarterback is supposed to take ownership of this team on the field. And you know what? It's more than just being able to sling the football around and run around and be dynamic. It takes more than that, for Kyler Murray to help this Cardinals team elevate themselves to the next level. So, the way that things are going with Kyler Murray and his agent right now, I don't know why you do this. You're putting gasoline onto a situation where you don't need to put gasoline onto a fire. You created this storm, and the storm is only going to get worse. And then on top of that, for the sake of argument, if the Cardinals wanted to go in a different direction at quarterback, you're not really ingratiating yourself to another team, just hypothetically speaking. But with that said, the way that Murray is going right now, if the Cardinals were to pay him, he might start speaking in third person. That's the way things are going right now. Cliff Kingsbury is still the head coach of the Cards. He and Steve Keim, they're the brain trust that drafted Murray. They tried to put a team around him, at least the skill positions on offense, to make it work. They brought in defensive players as well. But the bottom line is, number one has got to get the job done. What happens with this, like I said a couple of weeks ago, this problem's not going away, and it's not going away anytime soon, because he's still going to look for money. And the closer you get to training camp, and being that he's not gotten paid, if he has not at that point, you could have an unhappy camper on your hands. And the last thing you want, if you're the Cardinals, is a distraction. Because listen, you cannot afford to fall behind in the NFC West. You got the Niners, you got the Rams, and of course, the Rams are the defending champs, Super Bowl champs, that is. And then on top of that, both the Niners and Rams made the NFC Championship game last year. So I look at it like this: I don't expect the Cardinals to go out of their way right now to give Murray a big time deal because the ball is still in their court in regards to his contract. Then on top of that, teams have to be very wary in the National Football League as far as when they start to dole out big time contracts to their starting quarterbacks, because you look at it from the salary cap dynamic, it eats up so much. And then, we find out how really good these quarterbacks are when they don't have the pieces around them. You might lose an offensive tackle, you might lose a pass rusher, you might lose a running back, you might lose a receiver, and so on, or several key players due to the fact that the quarterback's salary is accounting for so much. So if you're the Cardinals, you have to think twice about that, especially with a quarterback who, in my opinion, is still unproven. Yes, he's been a two-time Pro Bowler. Yes, he was the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2019. But in crunch time, can the Cardinals consistently believe in Kyler Murray to be their guy? We have to wait and see. I said this drama was not going away a couple of weeks ago when I first talked about it. It was a storm created by Murray and his agent, and now this storm has life and it ain't going away. So who knows what is going to come from the desert, from the Cardinals front office, Kyler Murray, and the Arizona Cardinals as a whole. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.